and how to choose peace instead of pain, instead of people that make you upset, people that make you feel awfully painfully, people that not loves you at all. How to choose it, how to stop romanticizing pain and choose peace instead. So why we choose people that give us a lot of pain, and how to switch it, how to switch our emotions and feelings and choose people that gonna love us, people that gonna do everything for us. I see how many women complaining about that. Oh, when I get flowers and get princess treatments from men that like me but I don't like him, it feels so bad, because I'm not getting this from men that I like. I'm getting these flowers and gifts from men that like me, and it's feels another way, and they don't really appreciate this. Like, they complaining about this. Just always want to ask, what are you complaining about? I mean, you getting flowers, gifts, you getting princess treatments from person that really likes you, and you don't like him, while you like men that treats you like a piece of shit. So this is really interesting for a lot of women. If someone treats her like a piece of shit, feels like something good. It feels like she literally prioritized chaos, prioritized pain instead of good relationships. Instead of people that open to any kind of relationship, to open for love, instead of men that open for love. Because I don't believe that you never had any chance to have some really serious relationships. Because even in my life, I always dating a lot of men, but there is a part of them that want something serious, and they show their intentions. It's so obvious. They treat you so good, and I feel like people they not really appreciate this, just because they used to think that love is a pain, and the only love that exists, the only love that counts, is love that come from man or person that you like. If he don't like you, doesn't matter. Like, for you, it doesn't matter. It's not love. You're just giving, but you're not getting anything back. It's not love. You're just wasting your time and your resources. Okay. Now I see a big difference between women that chasing emotionally unavailable men, chasing men that don't really like you, and at the kind really enjoy it. There is a lot of women that really enjoy it. Suffering, crying over someone, enjoy to chase some. There is a big difference between women that chasing men and between women that never chase anyone, and she getting everything she wants from people that really like her. Now I see it very clearly. If you love yourself, you never judge yourself. You never, put yourself down in your head. Imagine you did something and you never feel guilty. You never trying to judge yourself, accuse yourself. Never. You look at the mirror, you see something. Like, if you never tell yourself that you're ugly or something wrong with you, you always prioritize yourself. You would never choose people that literally hates you or people that emotionally unavailable. We've been told that pain makes us stronger, but in reality, you just waste your time, waste your resources, and what you have in the end of the day, nothing. You just, as long as you suffer, you just getting older so fast. So stress makes you not just upset, but makes you look more older. So it's affect to your skin, to your body. I see the big difference between women that choose themselves only. They kind of obsessed not only they're not only obsessed of themselves, of how they look, but they also obsessed of things that they do in their life, obsessed of their career, business. It might be just business that not even give you any money, doesn't matter, as long as you really like to do this, it's gonna work. You're not gonna suffer, because you're just gonna prioritize things that you do, things that you like. It doesn't matter even if it's gives you zero income. As long as you like it, it's gonna helps you, value yourself, to focus on your life. My coach always say, she's a wonderful woman, she always say, if it starts with shit, it's gonna end with shit. You know what I mean? If at the beginning you see the signs that something wrong with this person, it's like it feels like he doesn't even likes you, and it feels like he kinda hates you. If it starts with shit, if it at the start he start to ignoring you, start to disappear, he start to set some like weird comments about how you look, it's gonna end the same way, or it's gonna end because of this. I was on a date with a man that was second date. He actually disappeared and he comes back. I just like to do makeup, and I like to try something new, and I just made smoky eyes. You know what I mean? If you don't know what it is, Google it. I just made a smoky eyes, and that was really, that was really beautiful, not bad, And when I just came to the date, that was the second date, I don't even know him, and after he disappeared, I waiting for that he's gonna apologize for it and bring me some gifts, something. He came with nothing. He said, today you look like women that easy to get. You look like some women that easy to get. I'm like, are you insane? Literally, what do you mean I look like women that easy to get? Only because of my makeup, really? And that was a sign that something wrong with this person. And at the end of the day, little by little, I was thinking maybe he's drunk, maybe something wrong with him, but then I understand they never change. If it starts like that, it's gonna end like that, and I just block him after this. So it's end the same way how it started. It's never been different. People, especially men, they cannot hide their dark side. And most of men that have this dark side, now we call them toxic people, toxic men, but toxic people that miserable, they have a dark side of their personality. In most cases, they cannot hide this. You're gonna feel it. It's gonna just, they cannot hide this. Okay, they're gonna say something weird. They're gonna act weird. On the first date, of course they're gonna try to hide this. Of course they're gonna act a little bit different. Maybe try to act like normal people, but at the end of the day, they're not gonna hide this, because it feels like they cannot do this. When I first met him on the first date, he was like a normal person, he didn't say anything bad, but little by little, I start to see the signs that feels like something wrong with him. Sometimes when I hear that some people complaining that, oh my god, I choose man, I just marry him. In the marriage, he start act crazy, he start beating me up, he start to he become mad very fast. He literally threatened me, and it feels like you were blind. People that act crazy, they never hide this. You always feel a sign, a little of, a little sign of hateness in them, that they actually hate you. How you gonna feel it? they always gonna comment your look, your makeup, and they're not trying to, make a compliment. They're trying to embarrass you at the same time. It feels like they not really likes you, but they gonna tell you that they like you. But it feels so bad. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it like something wrong with him. Last time when I was with him on a date, that was his last date, I started to talk about that, that I wish to open my cafe, my own cafe, vegetarian cafe. And I started to talk about that. It just asked me about something, and I'm like, I just wanted to open my own cafe that gonna be a vegetarian cafe, and then I just wanted to make it bigger and open a restaurant. I just wanted to open a restaurant with vegetarian food only. I mean vegan food only, food that based on plants, vegetables and fruits. That gonna be really interesting cafe and really healthy food, And when I started to talk about this, his reaction was very, very weird. He started laughing, like, not laughing, like, and he said, I'm not recommended to open your cafe in your small city, in your small town, because no one gonna come to your cafe. And I'm looking at him like, yeah, of course I'm not gonna open there. I wanted to open in in the capital of my country. I talk about this more. He just turned his head. He just stopped, look at me, and start to talk about something. I didn't know what's happening. I'm talking, and he started to talk with me something. We were in the car, and he was driving, and I was like, maybe someone called him, but there was nothing. He just started to talking with me about something else. He literally turned his head and trying to show me that I'm not gonna listen to you because that's not interesting for me. Your desires not interesting for me. That was a huge red flag. If you don't want to talk about this, just said me that. Let's talk about something else. But that was a huge red flag. And people that actually that's something crazy. People, they cannot hide this. So on the end of the day, they're gonna show their dark side. They're gonna show that something wrong with him. He's gonna show it to you. He's gonna show all his bad, his dark side. He's gonna show it to you. He's gonna show it to you by make you feel miserable. So when you deal with people that they have this dark side of their personality and they cannot control it, you feel the signs, you see the signs, but you just ignore the signs. I might just ignore the signs. Of course, I said that when he asked me on a date again. I said that, you're just a little bit weird. You act weird. I don't understand what's wrong with you. And it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Those people, they act that they don't know what you're talking about. They gaslighting you. Okay, so of course you need to make a decision. If you see some signs, you need to focus on you, on your life, and how you feel with those people. If you're feeling you feel like such an idiot, with them, you feel like someone trying to embarrass you, or just embarrass you for where you live, for needs that you have, for some desires that you have. You feel like this person literally trying to embarrass you for this. That's a sign, a huge red flag. If you right now chasing some man or some person that emotionally unavailable, or you saw some signs but you just decided to ignore these signs, just because you thinking that maybe you just overreacting. Some men like to put women down by calling them emotionally and telling that you're just overreacting. I didn't did anything weird. That wasn't weird. I didn't said anything like this. So it's just a gaslighting. So if you feel like you chase some man that and you think like you need only him, and while you ignoring man that really likes you, people or person that really take care of you, really gives you a sign that he just want to be with you, he brings you gift, flowers, money, everything you wanted, and you see that, yeah, you can trust this person. But while you chase men that do nothing for you, I'm sorry, but I have a bad news for you, because you just traumatized. Really, I feel like for some people, peace feels boring just because they addicted to chaos, they addicted to passion. In most of cases, we're trying to chase people that not really like us and emotionally unavailable, because we cannot get those people. We chase things that we cannot get. Why people like expensive things? Not because they're expensive, not because it's a good quality, of course not, just because we know that we cannot afford this, we cannot get it so easy. That's why for us those things become special, just because you cannot afford this, and because you cannot get this. And imagine you chasing people, you chasing men, if you're women, because you know that you're never gonna be with him. You know that you cannot, he's always trying to run from you. Like it feels like you have some relationship, and at the end of the day, another day he just disappear and you cannot get him. That's why in your head he becomes special for you, but it's only working only if you're traumatized. Okay, it's not gonna work if you're healthy women. It's not gonna work. You're gonna prioritize men and people that gonna make you feel safe, gonna make you feel like you're queen. If you grow up around cows, calm love feels boring. If you grow up in a family where there was like cows always, you're gonna feel like calm love. You feel like men that gives you calm love, gives you safe. That's gonna be boring for you. There's no emotions. You're not gonna feel the same. You're not gonna feel butterflies. Those type of people never gives you a lot of emotions, but they gives you safety. The right partner will not trigger your anxiety. Right people, men that respect women, would never gives you anxiety, would never gives you a feeling that you're afraid that he's gonna think about something about you. A lot of women, they complaining about that. Oh, what if he's gonna see me without makeup? What if he's gonna see the place where I live? Maybe if you feel like it's embarrassing. What if he's gonna know about my traumas? What if he's gonna know where I'm working? It's only because subconsciously you know that he never accepted you the way who you are. It feels like most of women, they afraid to ask men for something because they act like this. They act that the way that you cannot ask something for help, even for some little things, because they act that way. They act that they make you feel embarrassing, make you feel miserable, even if you just didn't ask them anything. At first I see that a lot of people, they act that way, that you cannot ask them for something. A lot of men, they just act that way, that you cannot even ask them something. Something little like, please, can you give me a bottle of water, can you give me a pen, or can you just open the door for me? So most of men, they act that way because they not really wanted to help you. So you just feel it, because besides the physical body, we have astral body, and we always feel that something wrong. Why you cannot be who you are, you cannot act the way that who you are, you just need to pretend something. You need to be someone else. Why was this person you trying to pretend someone else? Why was this person you thinking that it's not enough being you? You need to be someone. If you feel this little sign that you cannot eat something with this person, you cannot drink something, and your body, your astral body feel that something wrong with him, you cannot trust him. When you date someone and you feel like you're attracted someone, why? You need to ask when it start, when he start to ignore you, when he start to treat you like a piece of shit. If he just disappear and you start to feel something, which is mean you never feel anything, and this is not feelings, that's your anxiety, and you just confuse your anxiety with feelings. Okay, most of cases our brain cannot really understand what kind of emotions we feel. What I really feel when I feel like someone, when you feel like someone ignores you, it's disrespectful, and it hurts your ego. So most of cases you need to ask yourself, what I attracted to, why I feel like I really like him while he never did anything for me. Because if you're healthy, you would never get attracted to some man just like that, just because he's handsome. Why? In the nature, female creatures, they never attracted to some male creatures. Why? In nature, we always choose partner that do something for us. So if you just get attracted by men that do nothing for you just because he's handsome and he's sexy, and just because he had some money but he never spent any of it on you, you're crazy, and you need to check your hormones. Because in the reality, if you're healthy, you're gonna fall in love only into actions, people that brings peace in your life instead of house. That's a green flag. Those type of people, they would never gives you a feeling that something wrong with you. They would never gives you a feeling that things that you do, it's embarrassing. People that more powerful than you, they never gonna judge you, they never gonna bring you down, they never ever trying to make you feel upset, make you feel that something wrong with you, or something that you do, it's embarrassing. My YouTube channel, all my videos, oh my god, it's embarrassing what you do. People that powerful, they make more money than me, they always telling me that something that you do, it's amazing. When I never met men that judge me. All men that judge me was so poor and unintelligence, because people that achieve something in their life, they know that as long as you embarrass yourself, it's good, you're gonna achieve something. All people that achieve something in their life, they embarrassing themselves first. So you need to embarrass yourself more. Okay, so at first people would think that you embarrass yourself. At first you're gonna think that, oh my god, my videos, it's embarrassing. But then when you achieve something, you're gonna see that actually you needed to embarrass yourself. If you want to achieve something, start to embarrass yourself. Okay, that's my advice. That's really working. You need to choose someone who doesn't make you question your worth. You don't need to find some excuses, find some explanation that see, I'm worthy, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, blah blah blah. If someone trying to question your words, in most of cases because they hate you, and most of men, they I think men, they understand that they cannot get you, and that's why they start trying to put you down, embarrassing you, because they cannot get you, and they feel like, okay, he's not gonna be with me anyway because I'm miserable and I'm not for her. I know I'm never gonna reach her standards. That's why I'm just gonna embarrass her, because that's the only way. That's the only thing that I can do. I'm gonna embarrass her, I'm gonna put her down, Who knows, maybe she's gonna be insecure. People mostly, they putting down things that they cannot get. If men cannot get you, they trying to embarrass you. I see people that most of poor people that putting down some things. Cars, luxurious cars. Like, no, it's not comfortable. No, it's not good. Blah blah blah. Because they cannot get it. Okay, they cannot afford it. That's why they putting things down. They cannot afford this. I never saw it. Yeah, I never saw that. Something that I do, it's embarrassing, or the place where I live, it's embarrassing. But when I met this man, I start to think about those things. I start to think, maybe I'm not enough, maybe something wrong with me. And it only happens when you meet people that make you question your words. So it's only happened when you feel yourself insecure with this person. You feel that something wrong with you because something wrong with him. With people that fulfilled and satisfied with their own life would never make you feel that something wrong with you. Never gonna make you feel that something wrong with you. How I understand this, the thing that I always date men. I always go on a dates, a lot of men, and I always after date, I have my notebook, and I always trying to write everything down, write down my feelings and how I felt with him, how I felt, how he treated me. It's always important to write down your feelings, and you focusing on your feelings, how you felt. You felt embarrassing. Could you eat something on a date? Because a lot of cases, if you cannot trust someone, you cannot eat. Why? Because of hormone that call I forgot. Because of this hormone, your just body forget about that you have these basic needs. Your body just delay these basic needs because you just in stress. That's why most of cases, if I cannot trust someone, if I feel myself like not good, I cannot eat. This is a huge sign that something wrong with this person. Last date was a man that he was an entrepreneur. I was feel myself so good with him. I don't know how to explain, but I didn't felt any butterflies. I didn't feel anything. And he just asked me what I need, my plans, all about those things, what I do. I said him that I have a YouTube channel, two YouTube channels. One of them, this one, and another one on Russia, where I talk about nutriology. Then I just look at my phone and I saw another another bad comment from my from my Russian YouTube channel, and I said to him, and he asked me, what's going on, what's happened? And I look at my phone, I just read this message. There was something that I'm crazy, blah blah blah. I just look at my phone and it's like, what's going on? And I'm like, nothing, just someone text me, it's some hater texts me some bad comments that I'm crazy. And he's like, I hope you're not gonna take it seriously. And I'm like, no. He just looked at me like, that you're fabulous. He never makes me feel like something wrong with me. People that likes you, even if they have another opinion about a lot of things, they never gonna makes you feel never gonna makes you feel that something wrong with you, that you weird, never